Hey everyone, welcome to Watch the Stories. Here we bring you the most emotional, dramatic, and unforgettable tales from every corner of life. So sit back, relax, and get ready to feel every emotion. Because this is where stories come alive. I died on a Tuesday. At least that's what the police report said. That's what Ethan told everyone. That's what he believed when he looked down from that cliff edge, watched my body tumble into the ravine, and walked away without checking if I'd stopped breathing. He didn't. I hadn't, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back to the moment before everything shattered. Standing on that overlook, the wind whipping my hair across my face, Ethan's hand warm in mine. We'd driven 3 hours to this mountain resort for our anniversary. 10 years. A decade of building him up, paying his law school loans with my teaching salary, holding him through panic attacks before the bar exam, celebrating every promotion like it was mine too. Because it was mine, every success he claimed I'd bled for. It's beautiful up here, I say, squeezing his hand. He doesn't squeeze back. I should have noticed. Should have seen how his jaw tightened, how his eyes kept darting to his phone. Should have questioned why he insisted on this trip when he'd been so distant for months. Coming home late, cologne I didn't recognize, explanations that felt rehearsed. Lena, he says, and something in his voice makes my stomach drop. We need to talk. I turn to face him, already knowing, already feeling the ground shift beneath me before he even touches me. Because I'm not stupid. I've known about her for 3 months. The secretary with the bright laugh and the tight skirts. I've smelled her perfume on his shirts. I've seen the hotel charges on our credit card. I just kept pretending because I didn't know how to be anything other than his wife. I want a divorce, he says. And then he pushes me. Not hard. That's what makes it worse. It's almost gentle, the way his palms press against my shoulders. Casual, like he's moving a piece of furniture. Like I'm just an obstacle between him and whatever life he's already planning. I don't scream. There's no time. 1 second I'm standing on solid ground, the next I'm airborne, the world spinning, sky, rock, trees, sky. The impact steals my breath, my consciousness, my certainty about who I am and what my life means. I wake up 3 days later. Not in a hospital. In a ravine, half buried in leaves, my body a symphony of agony. My left leg bent wrong. Ribs screaming, face sticky with blood that might be hours or days old. And I'm alone. The survival part is a blur, crawling, dragging myself toward water, eating berries I'm not sure are safe. Fever dreams where Ethan comes back and tells me it was an accident. The helicopter finds me on day 7. By then I'm already someone else. Someone who understands that love is just a word people use before they murder you. The doctors say I'm lucky. Fractured femur, 3 broken ribs, skull fracture, shattered cheekbone. Lucky because I'm alive. Lucky because my brain still works. Even if my body doesn't recognize itself anymore. I don't tell them what happened. Not at first. Because while I'm lying in that hospital bed pumped full of morphine, I'm scrolling through my phone. The one I'd zipped into my jacket pocket before the fall. I'm reading news articles about myself. Local teacher feared dead after hiking accident. Husband devastated by wife's disappearance. There's a photo of Ethan, tears on his cheeks, holding a press conference. He's wearing the tie I bought him for his last birthday. He's describing how I wandered away from the trail, how he searched for hours, how he'll never forgive himself. He's good, so good. And there in the background of one photo I see her, the secretary, Madison. Young, beautiful. Her hand on his arm in a gesture that's supposed to be comforting but looks possessive. The rage comes slowly, then all at once. I click through my banking app with shaking hands, barely able to see through the swelling around my eyes. Our joint account nearly empty. The savings we'd built together, transferred. Our investment portfolio, liquidated. He didn't just try to kill me. He robbed me first. But it's the email I find that changes everything. One I'm CC'd on by accident, probably sent before he pushed me. From Ethan to his business partner, discussing their new LLC. The one they funded with $500,000 of embezzled client trust funds. The one registered in my name. My name, my social security number, my signature forged on documents that will make me complicit in crimes I didn't commit. He didn't just want me dead. He wanted me guilty. The nurse comes in, asks if I'm okay because I'm laughing. Laughing and crying and probably looking completely insane. She adjusts my pain medication, pats my hand, tells me trauma does strange things to people. She has no idea. I spent 6 months in physical therapy. 6 months watching my body betray me, swelling, scarring, gaining weight from immobility and antidepressants, and the kind of grief that makes you eat everything. Because you're trying to fill a hole that goes straight through to your spine. I watch the pounds accumulate in the mirror. 200 of them, layered over my broken bones like armor, like a disguise. And I watch Ethan too. From fake social media accounts, from courthouse records, from the private investigator I hire with the only money he didn't find, the emergency fund I kept in my mother's name. I watch him marry Madison in a ceremony that costs more than our entire wedding. I watch him open a new law firm, win cases, smile for cameras. I watch him become the man I always believed he could be, just without me. The old Lena would have grieved, would have accepted, would have quietly rebuilt her life and tried to forgive. But the old Lena died in that ravine. The woman who crawls out of her skin over 18 months of surgery and therapy and rage. She's someone new. Someone who loses 200 pounds not through starvation but through fury. Someone who changes her name, her face, her hair. Someone who uses that forged LLC to leverage connections, investments, opportunities. Someone who becomes exactly what she needs to be to destroy him. My new name is Elena Cross. I'm a venture capitalist with a portfolio that would make Ethan weep. And I've just bought a controlling interest in his law firm's biggest client. I stand outside his office building on a Thursday morning, watching him through the glass doors. He's older but still handsome, laughing at something Madison says as they walk toward the entrance together. He doesn't see me, doesn't recognize the woman in the designer suit, the one who's lost so much weight she's practically a different species, whose face was reconstructed by the best surgeons money can buy. But he will. I smile and it feels like baring teeth. Time to make him remember what falling feels like. The receptionist at Ethan's firm doesn't recognize me either. Of course she doesn't. The last time anyone here saw Lena Harding, she was soft-spoken and round-faced, bringing homemade cookies to office parties, smiling too much because she didn't know how else to take up space. That woman wore clearance rack cardigans and apologized for existing. Elena Cross wears Tom Ford and makes men apologize for breathing her air. "Mr. Harding will see you now," the receptionist says, and I can tell from her tone she's been instructed to treat me like royalty. Money has a language all its own, and I've become fluent. I follow her down the hall, the same hall I walked 10 years ago when I brought Ethan lunch during his first week at this firm. Back when he was nobody. Back when I was the one keeping us afloat. The irony tastes like copper in my mouth. His office is exactly what I expected. Floor-to-ceiling windows, leather furniture, awards and accolades covering one wall like a shrine to his genius. There's a photo on his desk, him and Madison on some beach, her blonde hair perfect, his arm around her waist. No pictures of me. Not even our wedding photo. I'd been erased before I even hit the rocks. Ms. Cross. Ethan stands, extends his hand, gives me the smile that once made my stomach flutter. Now it just makes me catalog his weaknesses. The slight paunch developing beneath his expensive shirt. The thinning hair he's trying to hide with product. The desperation in his eyes that comes from a man who's built his empire on sand. Thank you for meeting with me. I understand you're considering increasing your investment in Meridian Tech. Meridian Tech. His firm's golden goose, the client that pays for Madison's shopping sprees and his Tesla, and the mountain house where he probably takes other women now. The client whose board I've been courting for 6 months, whose CEO owes me 3 favors, whose future I now control. I'm considering it, I say, my voice pitched lower than it used to be. A trick I learned from a vocal coach, along with a dozen other small changes that make me unrecognizable. But I have concerns about their legal representation. Something flickers across his face. Fear, maybe, or just the instinct of a predator sensing another predator in his territory. I can assure you, Ms. Cross, this firm has represented Meridian for 8 years without a single. I've read your file, Mr. Harding. I sit without being asked, cross my legs, watch his eyes track the movement before he catches himself. Impressive win record. Almost too impressive. Makes me wonder what corners got cut. His smile tightens. I don't cut corners. I win cases, by any means necessary, by being better than everyone else. There it is. The arrogance that made me fall for him in the first place. The absolute certainty that he deserves everything he has. That the rules don't apply to him. That consequences are for other people. I want to reach across the desk and claw his eyes out. Instead, I smile. I like confidence. But I need to know who I'm working with. Meridian's board wants assurance that their legal team is clean. No skeletons. No liability. I watch the color drain from his face. He knows. He knows exactly what I'm implying because guilty men always do. Of course, he says carefully. I'm happy to provide any documentation. I don't want documentation. I want transparency. I lean forward close enough to smell his cologne, different from what he used to wear. Probably Madison's choice. I want to understand who Ethan Harding really is. Not the press releases. Not the awards. The man. He stares at me, and for a moment I think he sees something, some ghost of recognition flickering in his eyes. My heart pounds so hard I'm sure he can hear it. But then he blinks and the moment passes. That's unusual, he says. I'm an unusual investor. I believe in people, not just numbers. So here's my proposal. I'll triple Meridian's legal budget and recommend you for 2 other clients I'm working with. But first I want to know your story. Dinner. Tonight. Just us. I can see him calculating, weighing the money against the inconvenience of spending an evening with a demanding client, wondering if Madison will make a scene, deciding that 8 figures is worth whatever irritation this might cause. Tonight works, he says finally. There's a restaurant. I'll choose. I'll send my driver for you at 7. I stand, and so does he, and we shake hands. His palm is warm, familiar in a way that makes me want to vomit. This is the hand that pushed me, the hand that signed documents in my name, the hand that probably touches Madison the way it used to touch me. I hold on a second too long, watch confusion cross his face. Something wrong, Ms. Cross? Just déjà vu, I say. Like we've met before? I think I'd remember. You should, I think. You should wake up screaming from dreams of me. But I just smile and walk away, feeling his eyes on my back the whole way down the hall. The restaurant I choose is expensive, intimate, dark. The kind of place where married men bring their mistresses and tell themselves it doesn't count because no one they know will see them. I arrive first, order the most expensive wine on the menu, watch the door. Ethan walks in at 7:15, late enough to establish that his time is valuable, early enough not to be rude. He's changed into a different suit, darker, sharper, making an effort for me, for Elena, for the woman who isn't his dead wife. You look lovely, he says, sliding into the seat across from me. You look nervous. He laughs, but it's strained. You don't pull punches. Life's too short for bullshit. I pour him wine, watch him take a too large sip. So tell me, Ethan, how does a man go from public defender to partner at one of the city's most prestigious firms in less than a decade? Hard work, long hours, good instincts, and a supportive wife. His hand freezes on the wine glass. I'm married now, but back then my first wife passed away. Hiking accident. It was tragic. The word tragic sits between us like a bomb. I take a slow sip of wine, let the silence stretch until he squirms. I'm sorry, I say finally. That must have been devastating. It was. He looks down, and I'll give him credit, he's good. The grief on his face looks almost real. She was my foundation. Losing her nearly destroyed me. But you rebuilt. I had to. She would have wanted me to. I wonder if he believes his own lies. If he's told the story so many times that he's forgotten the truth. That he murdered me and walked away whistling. And your current wife? How did you meet her? Madison worked at the firm. We didn't start dating until after. It was a year before I could even think about moving on. She helped me through the worst of it. A year. He means 6 weeks. I know because I'd hacked into Madison's email months ago, read their texts, seen the timeline. They were sleeping together 2 weeks after I died, planning their future while my body was still recovering in a hospital under a Jane Doe tag because I was too scared to reveal myself. She sounds supportive, I say. She is. She understands the pressure I'm under. Does she understand everything? All your complexities? He meets my eyes, and something shifts in the air between us. Understanding. Recognition of a game being played. Ms. Cross, Elena. He leans back, studies me. I get the feeling this dinner isn't really about Meridian Tech. Smart man. So what's it about? I could tell him. Could lay it all out. The evidence I've collected, the forensic accountant who's traced every dollar he stole, the witnesses who saw him on that mountain, the digital trail that proves premeditation. Could watch his face crumble as he realizes the ghost he thought he'd buried has come back to destroy him. But revenge isn't just about the ending. It's about the journey, the slow, exquisite unraveling, the moment when he realizes he's been dancing with death and calling it a client meeting. It's about trust, I say instead. I need to know the men I work with won't disappoint me, that they won't make promises they can't keep. I pause, that they won't lie to my face and think I'm too stupid to notice. His jaw tightens. I don't lie. Everyone lies, Ethan. The question is whether you're good enough to get away with it. We stare at each other across the table, and the air feels electric, dangerous. He doesn't know why, but he knows something is wrong. Some animal instinct warning him that the woman across from him isn't what she seems. What do you want from me? He asks quietly. Everything. Your freedom. Your reputation. Your life. I want you to tell me a secret, I say. Something real. Something you've never told anyone else. Give me that. And you get Meridian's business and everything that comes with it. That's insurance. I need to know you trust me, that we understand each other. He considers this, weighing risk against reward. And because Ethan Harding has never met a gamble he wouldn't take if the odds looked good enough, he leans forward. Okay, he says, but this stays between us. Of course. He takes a breath. My first wife, Lena, the accident. It wasn't, he stops, laughs bitterly. God, I've never said this out loud. We were having problems. She found out about an affair. We fought on that mountain and she got too close to the edge. I reached for her, but he shakes his head. It happened so fast. And afterward, I was so scared of what people would think, how it would look. So I said she wandered off. I let everyone believe I was the grieving husband instead of the man who failed to save his wife. It's perfect, so close to the truth but sanitized, repackaged as tragedy instead of murder. And he believes it. I can see it in his eyes. He's rewritten history so many times that this is his truth now. He reached for me, he tried. It was an accident. The rage that floods through me is so intense I have to grip the edge of the table. That must be hard, I manage. Living with that guilt. You have no idea. He reaches across the table, puts his hand over mine. Thank you for listening. I don't know why I told you that. I've never even told Madison. His hand is warm on mine, the hand that pushed me. And suddenly I don't want to pull away. Because this closeness, this terrible intimacy, this is what I need. To get inside his head, his life, his marriage. To become indispensable before I become deadly. Your secret's safe with me, I lie, turning my hand over so our palms touch. Partners? He smiles, and it's genuine this time, relieved. Partners. We finish dinner talking about business, about strategy, about the future he thinks he's building. And when he walks me to my car, he kisses my cheek. Friendly, professional, but lingering just a second too long. Thank you for tonight, he says. I feel like we're going to do great things together. Oh, Ethan, I say, and I let myself smile for real. You have no idea. I watch him walk away, already pulling out his phone to call Madison, to tell her about the client he's just secured. The money that's about to pour in. The future that's finally falling into place. He doesn't see me take out my phone. Doesn't see me text my lawyer, start filing. I want the embezzlement investigation opened by Monday. He thinks I'm his salvation. He has no idea I'm his reckoning. The investigation leaks on a Wednesday, not to the press, not yet. Just whispers in the legal community. The kind of rumors that spread through conference rooms and golf courses like cancer. Someone at the DA's office asking questions about trust fund discrepancies. Someone else pulling files from 8 years ago. Back when Ethan was hungry and reckless and thought he was smart. Enough to steal without consequences. I'm in his office when he gets the call. We've been meeting twice a week for the past month, strategy sessions, he calls them. Madison doesn't know about all of them. Why would she? I'm just a client. Just a woman who's funneling millions into his firm and laughing at his jokes and asking about his day like I care, which I do. Just not the way he thinks. I have to take this, he says, glancing at his phone. His face has gone pale. Of course. I sip my coffee, watch him step into the hall. Through the glass wall of his office, I can see his body language change. Shoulders tensing, hand running through his hair. That tells that whatever he's hearing is bad. When he comes back, he looks like he's aged 5 years. Everything okay? I ask, all innocence. Fine, just old business. Nothing to worry about. But his hands shake as he pours himself a drink, even though it's only 10 in the morning. I let the silence stretch. Let him marinate in his fear. Then, Ethan, whatever it is, you can tell me. Partners, remember? He looks at me for a long moment and I can see him calculating, weighing whether I'm someone he can trust or just another person who'll abandon him when things get ugly. There's an investigation, he says finally, into some financial irregularities from years ago. It's nothing, a misunderstanding, but the timing couldn't be worse. If Meridian hears about this before I can explain, they'll pull their business and take half my other clients with them. He downs the whiskey, pours another. I've worked too hard to let some bureaucrat with a vendetta destroy everything. Is it a misunderstanding? I ask quietly. Or did you do something? His eyes snap to mine, and for a second I see the real Ethan, the one without the charm, without the mask, the one who's capable of pushing his wife off a cliff and sleeping soundly that night. Everyone bends the rules sometimes, he says. That's how you survive. How you win. And the people who lose? What happens to them? They weren't smart enough. Strong enough. He leans back, studies me. You understand that, don't you? You didn't get where you are by playing it safe. He's right. I didn't. But my sins are different. I built my fortune on his stolen money, laundered through shell corporations and legitimate investments until it looked clean. I'm just as guilty as he is, just in ways he'll never trace back to me. What do you need? I ask. Time, and someone who believes I'm not a monster. The word monster hangs in the air between us. I believe you. I lie. So let's get ahead of this. Who's investigating? Assistant DA named Morrison. He's new, trying to make a name for himself. Going after old cases, seeing what sticks. Morrison, I know him. I'm the one who fed him the initial evidence anonymously through a tip line. But Ethan doesn't need to know that. I can help, I say. I know people at the DA's office. Let me make some calls. Why would you do that? Because I don't invest in people just to watch them fail. I stand, move around his desk, close enough to smell the whiskey on his breath. And because I think you've been punished enough. For whatever happened on that mountain with your wife. He flinches. Actually flinches. I told you that in confidence, I know. And I've kept it. But Ethan, if this investigation uncovers things, if people start digging into your past, they're going to find that story. They're going to twist it, use it against you. It was an accident. I know that. You know that. But prosecutors don't care about truth. They care about narrative. I put my hand on his shoulder, feel him tense under my touch. So we need to control the narrative. Before someone else does. He looks up at me and something shifts in his expression. Gratitude, maybe. Or desperation. Or something darker. Recognition of a kindred spirit. Someone who understands that survival means doing terrible things and learning to live with them. Elena. His hand comes up. Covers mine. I don't know what I'd do without you right now. Lucky you don't have to find out. We stay like that for a moment, too close, too intimate for a business relationship. And I know what's about to happen before it does. Can see it in the way his pupils dilate, the way his breath catches. He's going to kiss me, and I'm going to let him because this is part of the plan, getting close enough to destroy him from the inside. Because I need him dependent, vulnerable, confessing sins in the dark that I can use as ammunition. Because revenge isn't just about punishment. It's about making him feel what I felt. Betrayed. Broken. Erased. But when his lips touch mine, something unexpected happens. I feel it, the kiss. Not as Elena, the avenging angel, but as some buried part of Lena that still remembers loving this man. The muscle memory of 1,000 kisses before everything went wrong. Sleepy morning kisses, celebratory kisses, desperate kisses when we were young and broke and all we had was each other. I pull back, shaking. We can't, I say. I know. God, I know. I'm married. You're my client. He runs a hand through his hair. I'm sorry. That was completely inappropriate. It's okay. My voice sounds strange to my own ears. We're both under a lot of stress, but it's not okay. Because for a second I wanted him. Not as revenge, not as a chess piece, just wanted him. The way I used to before he tried to kill me. Before he stole my identity and my money and my future. And that's more terrifying than anything else. I leave his office without looking back, my heart hammering against my ribs. In the elevator, I catch my reflection in the polished doors. Lena Cross, venture capitalist, woman of steel. But underneath, I can see her. Lena, soft and stupid and still in love with the man who murdered her. I hate her. Hate that she still exists somewhere inside me, that she can be summoned by a kiss from a monster. My phone buzzes. A text from Ethan, thank you. For everything. For believing in me, then another. Can we have dinner? Just us. I need to talk to someone who understands. I should say no. Should maintain distance, keep this professional, stick to the plan. Instead, I type tomorrow night. PM, the same place. Because the plan is changing, evolving. Because I've realized that destroying Ethan Harding isn't enough. I need to understand him. Need to see if the man I loved ever really existed, or if I've been mourning a ghost all along. Dinner the next night is different. He shows up looking haunted, exhausted, like he hasn't slept. Orders a bottle of wine instead of just a glass. Doesn't bother with small talk. Madison wants to leave, he says. She heard about the investigation. Said she didn't sign up for this kind of drama. I'm sorry. Don't be. It's clarifying. He laughs bitterly. You spend years building a life with someone, thinking they'll stand by you. And the first sign of trouble, they start looking for exits. The irony is so thick I could choke on it. Is that what happened with Lena? I ask carefully. She was leaving you? He goes very still. What makes you say that? You said you fought. People don't fight unless something's already broken. She found out about an affair. He stares into his wine. Not with Madison before that. Some paralegal. It meant nothing. But Lena acted like I'd committed murder. Threatened to leave to ruin my career. Said she'd tell everyone what kind of man I really was. And what kind of man are you? He looks at me and there's something raw in his eyes. Something true. The kind who does what it takes to survive. Who doesn't apologize for wanting more than what he was born into. He reaches across the table, takes my hand. You understand that? I can see it in you, that hunger. That refusal to settle. Tell me what really happened on that mountain, Elena. Tell me, not the sanitized version, the truth. He's quiet for so long I think he won't answer. Then we fought. She said she was going to the police, that I'd forged her signature on some business documents. Which I had, but only because she was too scared to take risks. Too content with our mediocre life. My breath catches. He said it. Actually admitted it. I told her she was being hysterical, he continues. That she'd regret threatening me. She got in my face, started screaming. And I reacted. Pushed her, not hard. Just to get her away from me. But she was standing too close to the edge. And you watched her fall. I watched her disappear. Heard the impact. And I stood there thinking about how easy it would be to just let her be gone. To let nature take care of my problem. He meets my eyes. Does that make me a monster? Yes, I say simply. He blinks, surprised by my honesty. But monsters aren't born, I continue. They're made. By choices. By circumstances. By people who leave them no other option. That's generous. It's realistic. You think I've never done things I'm not proud of? We all have blood on our hands. The only difference is whose blood it is and whether we can live with it. Can you? I think about the people I've destroyed building my fortune. The investors I've ruined. The companies I've gutted. All in service of getting close enough to destroy one man. I sleep fine, I lie. He laughs, and it's genuine. God, I've never met anyone like you. That's because I'm exactly like you. Are you? And there it is, the moment I've been engineering for weeks. The moment where he sees me not as a client or a temptation, but as an equal, a partner in crime. Someone who understands the price of ambition and pays it without flinching. Someone he can trust with his darkest secrets. I'm worse, I whisper. He leans across the table, cups my face in his hand, the hand that pushed me off a cliff. Show me, I should pull away. Should remember the plan, the revenge, the justice I'm supposed to be serving. Instead, I kiss him, not gentle. Not tentative, but hungry, desperate, the kind of kiss that tastes like self-destruction. And he kisses me back like a drowning man, like I'm oxygen, like I'm salvation instead of damnation. When we break apart, we're both breathing hard. Come home with me, he says. You're still married. Madison's. At her mother's, please. I just need to not be alone tonight. Every instinct screams at me to refuse. To maintain the boundaries that keep me safe, that keep me focused on the mission. But I hear myself say yes. Because somewhere in the wreckage of who I used to be and who I've become, there's a truth I don't want to face. Part of me still loves him. Still wants him. Still believes in some twisted way that we deserve each other. Two broken, terrible people finding comfort in shared monstrosity. We go to his house, the house he bought with my stolen money. Madison's things are everywhere. Little pieces of the life he built on my grave. Her shoes by the door. Her jacket on the coat rack. Photos of them smiling, happy, unburdened by guilt. "I'm sorry," he says, following my gaze. "This was a mistake. You should show me your bedroom." He does, and I catalog every detail. The bed they share, the perfume on the nightstand, the wedding photo on the dresser. Evidence of everything he stole from me. Then I kiss him again and I let him undress me, and I don't stop him when he lays me down on sheets that smell like another woman's shampoo. Because this intimacy, this vulnerability, this is where I'll break him, not in a courtroom, not in public, but here in private where he thinks he's safe. I'll make him love me, make him need me, make him choose me over Madison, over his reputation, over everything, and then I'll take it all away and watch him shatter. Afterward, we lie in the dark, his arm around me, his breathing evening out toward sleep. "Elena," he murmurs, "I think I'm falling for you." "I know," I whisper, and in the darkness, I smile, because phase 2 has just begun. The bomb drops on a Monday morning. I'm in Ethan's office when Morrison walks in with 2 federal agents, badges gleaming, faces carved from stone. Ethan goes white. I pretend to be surprised. "Mr. Harding, we have a warrant for your arrest on charges of embezzlement, fraud, and forgery." This is insane. I haven't Elena tell them, but I'm already standing, gathering my things, creating distance, playing the shocked investor who had no idea her business partner was a criminal. "Wait." Ethan grabs my arm. "You said you'd fix this. You promised." "I tried," I say softly. "But some things can't be fixed." They cuff him in front of his entire office. Madison appears in the doorway, mascara already running, crying those pretty tears that probably worked on him once. "They don't work on federal agents. How could you?" She sobs at him. "You promised me we were safe." He doesn't even look at her. He's staring at me. "Elena, please, I need you." "I'll make some calls," I lie, and watch them lead him away. The office erupts in chaos. Lawyers scrambling, assistants crying, partners already distancing themselves from the sinking ship. I slip out during the confusion, drive home, pour myself a drink. It should feel better than this. He calls from jail that night. I let it go to voicemail, then listen to his message 3 times. "Elena, I know you're angry. I know this looks bad, but I can explain everything. Please, I have information about Lena, about what really happened. Things I never told anyone. If you post my bail, I'll tell you everything. His voice cracks. "I love you. I know it's crazy, we barely know each other, but I love you. Please don't abandon me." My hand shakes on the phone. Madison posts his bail instead. Uses her parents' money, puts their house up as collateral, stands by her man the way I once did, back when I was stupid enough to think love meant something. The trial date is set for 3 months out. I don't see Ethan during that time. Don't answer his calls, his emails, his increasingly desperate texts. But I watch. Through private investigators, through hacked security cameras, through Madison's public Instagram, where she performs the role of devoted wife for an audience that's already convicted him. I watch him unravel. He loses weight, stops shaving, holes up in the mountain house, the one near where he tried to kill me, like he's trying to outrun his demons or maybe commune with them. And then, 6 weeks before trial, I get a package. No return address. Just a thumb drive and a note in Ethan's handwriting, the truth, all of it. "Because you deserve to know who you fell for." I almost throw it away. Instead, I plug it in. Video files. Dozens of them. Ethan recording himself like a confessional, raw and unfiltered in ways I've never seen him. "Elena, if you're watching this, it means I've finally done what I should have done months ago, told the complete truth." I watch him on screen, disheveled, broken, nothing like the polished lawyer who once had the world by the throat. "Lena didn't fall by accident." I pushed her. "You already know that, but what you don't know is that I planned it. Not for weeks, I'm not that kind of monster. But for long enough. 3 days. I spent 3 days looking at that mountain trail at the overlook, thinking about how easy it would be, how clean." My chest tightens. I told myself it was because she was going to ruin me, Report the embezzlement, destroy my career. But that's not why. He laughs bitterly. I killed her because I was bored. Because she loved me too much and I felt suffocated by it. Because I wanted Madison and the affair wasn't enough. I wanted to start over completely. Erase the past. Erase her. Tears stream down my face. I don't wipe them away. I watched her fall and I felt relieved. Like I'd finally shed this weight I'd been carrying. And then I went home and I slept like a baby. Didn't even have nightmares. He looks directly into the camera. What kind of person does that make me? The worst kind, I think. The kind I've wasted 2 years destroying, but he's not done. And then you showed up, Elena. This beautiful, brilliant woman who saw me, really saw me, and didn't run. Who understood that ambition sometimes requires sacrifice. Who made me feel less alone in my monstrosity. His voice breaks. I fell in love with you. Really genuinely in love. For the first time in my life, including with Lena. And that's when I knew I was truly fucked. Because love makes you want to be better, and I'm not sure I can be. He reaches toward the camera like he's reaching for me. I've done terrible things, Elena. But meeting you, even if it destroys me, it's been the only real thing in my life since I pushed my wife off that cliff. So here's my truth, all of it, on this drive. Every crime, every lie, every document with forged signatures. Use it however you want. Turn it over to Morrison. Publish it. I don't care anymore. The video ends. There are more files. Spreadsheets, scanned documents, recordings of phone calls. Everything Morrison needs to put Ethan away for 20 years. Everything I've been working toward, and it doesn't feel like victory. It feels like ashes. I drive to the mountain house at midnight, past checkpoints of my own revenge. The hospital where I woke up. The therapy center where I learned to walk again. The courthouse where I filed to change my name. His Tesla is in the driveway. Lights on in the living room. He opens the door before I knock, like he's been waiting. Like he knew I'd come. Elena? That's not my name. He stares at me, confused. Then understanding dawns slowly, horribly, like watching someone realize they're already dead. No. You can't be... Lena Harding. I step inside, close the door behind me. Formerly dead. Currently very much alive, and absolutely done with your bullshit. He staggers backward, hits the wall, slides down it. Oh my God, oh my God. How I crawled out of that ravine, spent 2 years planning this, became everything you ever wanted in a woman just so I could destroy you from the inside out. I stand over him, this powerful man reduced to nothing on his own floor. How does it feel? Knowing you fell in love with your victim? Knowing you confessed everything to the ghost you tried to create? I'm sorry. He's crying, actually crying. Lena, I'm so sorry. I was a coward and a monster, and I don't deserve... You're right. You don't. Are you going to kill me? The question hangs between us. I've thought about it, dreamed about it, imagined 100 ways to make him feel what I felt falling through open air. But I don't reach for a weapon. Don't push him toward the balcony that overlooks the valley. Instead, I pull out my phone. Pull up the recording app that's been running since I arrived. I don't have to kill you. You already did that yourself. Every word you just said, I was a coward and a monster. It's all recorded. Along with your confession from the thumb drive. Along with every email, every document, every piece of evidence I've collected. You played me. You murdered me. I'd say we're even, but we both know that's a lie. I head for the door, pause. Morrison gets everything tomorrow. The trial won't even be close. And Madison, I sent her a copy of all your love letters to me. To other women. To every person you fucked while playing the grieving widower. Please. He's on his knees now. Please, Lena, I love you. I know that's insane, but I love you. You love Elena, a woman who doesn't exist. You killed Lena, remember? And Elena? I smile. She was just a story I told to get close enough to gut you. Then why did you kiss me? Why did you sleep with me? If it was all revenge, all calculated, the question stops me because he's right. It wasn't all calculated. Some part of me, some broken, twisted part wanted it. Wanted him. Wanted to believe that the man I loved still existed somewhere underneath the monster. Because I'm just as broken as you are. I whisper. And that's the real tragedy. Not that you tried to kill me, but that part of me still loves the man who did. I leave him there on the floor sobbing like a child. Drive away from the mountain house for the last time. And when I get home, I send Morrison everything. Every file. Every recording. Every piece of evidence that will bury Ethan Harding so deep he'll never see daylight again. The trial is a massacre. Morrison eviscerates him on the stand. The jury deliberates for 40 minutes. Guilty on all counts. 25 years. I watch from the gallery as they lead him away in chains. He searches the crowd, finds my face, mouths something that might be "I'm sorry" or "I love you" or just "why." I don't mouth anything back. But that night, alone in my apartment, I pull out the one thing I kept from our marriage, our wedding photo. Young Lena and young Ethan, smiling like they believed in forever. I burn it in the sink, watch our faces curl and blacken and disappear, and then I cry for the first time since I crawled out of that ravine. Not for what he did to me, but for what we did to each other. Two people who could have been something beautiful, destroyed by ambition and fear and the terrible choices we made when we forgot how to be human. The revenge is complete. Ethan is in prison. I'm free, wealthy, alive. But standing in my empty apartment, watching smoke curl toward the ceiling, I realize the truth I've been running from for 2 years. He didn't just try to kill me on that mountain. He succeeded. The woman I was, Lena, soft and trusting and full of hope, she died in that fall. And Elena, the woman I became, is just her ghost, haunting the man who made her, destroying him, and in the process destroying the last piece of herself that believed in love. I won. But God, what a hollow victory. I pour the ashes down the drain, wash away the last evidence of who we used to be, and then I book a flight to somewhere far away, somewhere neither Lena nor Elena has ever been. Maybe there, I can figure out who I'm supposed to be now, or maybe I'll just keep being a ghost, haunting the spaces between revenge and redemption, forever falling, never quite hitting the ground.